We then looked at the fact that biology involves a bunch of wordiness, of course, a little bit of numbers, and a bunch of visual displays, such as diagrams. Color coordination is important, and graphs. We can see this one here. We can see that it's talking about the average temperatures and precipitation, rain, in these different areas. I encouraged people to continue their graph reading, even when they're not in biology. So for example, you could look at like the population of different breeds of dogs around Australia, and then this one might be, border collies, this one might be Labradors, this one might be Schnauzers. I don't know, it doesn't really matter, but it's more just the concept. We then looked at this one and saw how they're the exact same. They're both forest ecosystems, but they're different types of forests, and so they have different types of trees, and so the types, the subspecies of animals in those areas would differ. We looked at the African savanna ecosystem, how these relate. It combines knowledge of abiotic and biotic, living and non-living concepts, along with the plants and the animals. Got to have knowledge of all of these things involved with each other, along with the different seasons and the amount of rainfall and all this stuff that all relates together to form our world. Yay! We then read through page 11. You need to read this whole thing. We looked at the fact that there are primary producers, which, gain energy through photosynthesis. Then there's primary consumers, primary meaning direct. They're the first ones, first in, best dressed. First things to consume anything. These ones just automatically obtain. Anyway, secondary, tertiary, quaternary, just fancy words for first, second, third, fourth. Food webs, we literally just read the first two lines and looked at this, the fact that, yes, there are food chains, which is a direct, vertical line, very simple, but we realize that it's more involved than that. These lines also go horizontally. A diagram such as this does not have the space to list every different type of large shark, and so it just says large sharks. It just kind of categorizes broadly. Then the last thing we did in today's lesson was we looked at energy flow and nutrient cycling, highlighted a few things, including the fact that that sunlight is the primary energy source. When they don't have sunlight, they have other chemical reactions other than photosynthesis. We looked at the fact that there are decomposers which obtain energy from detritus, which is pretty much the remains of dead organisms. All right, and then there's also detritivores, such as millipedes, dung flies, slugs, earthworms, and other things that we consider kind of gross, break stuff that's already dead into smaller pieces for decomposition by bacteria and fungi. That's why we find them kind of gross, because they're literally the bottom of the food chain. By recycling nutrients to producers, decomposers play a vital role in the trophic structures of ecosystems. So that is how we addressed 3 lessons worth of content in the one lesson. Hopefully this hasn't been information overload. Please go through, highlight those keywords that I literally pointed out, and I'll see you next lesson when we will get into this stuff. TLDRing, as I love to do. All right, bye.